if you have really good electronics on your boat, if you happen to have a boat, and you know how to read it properly, you can tell how close the fish are to the bottom too. So the closer the fish are to the bottom, obviously, the shorter the distance you want to use. But sometimes you'll see the fish are a little bit more off the bottom, and again, you might, in extreme cases, I've had almost maybe 30 inches between the weight and the hook. But that's in an extreme case. Most of the time it's probably, in around that, 12-inch mark is where I start, and then I will adjust from there depending on the situation.
就是这个就是钓鱼呢 ，drop shot 的原始刚开始的就是垂直钓法，现在呢已经发展到你可以 casting 这样回答，就怎么调节下面这个重量和钩之间的距离呢？他是说呢，一般的来讲，你如果是船上有好的就是 fish finder 好的话，你知道船的深度多少，就来调整深度。如果是 casting 属的时候，你要能如果根据角度，它如果一般的话，如果这么高的话。如果是你想，如果是这么角的话，它如果是10 inch 的，这样如果是一个角的话，可能是有6 inch，六个 inch， 所以你要根据你的飞栓的来调节这个高度。很特别的情况就调到就35 inch 就比较高一点，一般来讲就是16 inch。
别他说调了高度，当然有没有调那个重量他没说，就他一般用多重的那个坠子。
He said how big of the job.
What's that?
The weight. How heavy?
Oh, the weight?
Yeah.
Well, again, it depends on what kind of depth you're dealing with.
30 feet.
So if you're dealing like 30 feet of water, I'm probably using at least a 3/8, maybe a half ounce. Okay. More times than not, I'll go a little bit heavier because I want to get that bait down there as fast as possible every time. I don't want to have to throw it out there and wait for it to go down. The faster I can get it down there, the more time I can have it in front of the fish. Okay, so I'll go heavier rather than lighter whenever possible.
一般用重一点，让这个饵尽快的达到那个鱼的跟前。
So if I'm fishing like 2 feet of water, my weight might only be 1/8 of an ounce because it doesn't have very far to go.
If the sink is too heavy, maybe will slow out. 就可能卡不住，会不会？
质量不好，质量不好。还是 the quality. That's the quality.
No, if that happens, then there's something wrong with the clip. Okay, I've used some drop shot weights as heavy as an ounce, and I've never had one come off like that. So, okay.
Cliff 有点问题。
Yeah. The line would probably break before the clip slips. Okay, who can tell me what this is?
No, Ontario rig.
This is in Ontario, right? This is actually a version, like, how many people have heard of an Alabama rig? Who's heard of an Alabama rig? So only a couple people. There's been no lure or rig or whatever you want to call it that's taken the bass fishing scene by storm like this has. This is absolutely insane. It's crazy.
Yes,
like
you're right.
when Paul Elias won the last FLW last year, I think in September. Okay, that tournament, all the experts said it would take 50 to 60 pounds to win it. Okay, he weighed in over 100 pounds of bass, and he probably won by about 15 pounds. Nobody who was in the top 10 was not throwing an Alabama rig. Everybody in the top 10 was throwing an Alabama rig. Anybody who didn't throw one didn't finish up high. Okay, and since then, quite a few tournaments have been won on it. The BASS has banned this from their Elite Series and their Classic. Within probably a month of this showing up and him winning it, I bet you no less than 12 different companies already had an Alabama rig out there. Okay, this one happens to be from Guru Tackle. It's 4 arms, so it's legal in Ontario. A lot of the ones in the States are 5 arms, which if you had 5 with 5 hooks on it, you'd be in trouble if the CO pulled up. Okay, you can have 4 hooks on your line. That's the maximum you can have. So this is legal in Ontario. You can rig it. Sorry, go ahead. Yep.
这是 Upper Armor Rig， 很多人就是没看，它是去年很流行的 popular。去年就是有人用这个赢了冠军之后，就是10几家厂家马上就出来相同的产品。就是去年但现在在 Bus 和那个 Classic 和 Elite 系列里面，这个东西已经禁止了，不让用。这个东西刚开始在美国这很多州呢，它可以用5个6个，刚开始这么出来。但安省知道，我们安省的规则最多有4个钩，一根线上4个钩，所以是4个在 Ontario 是 maximum。但现在我估计我们这里还没有人用过这个。这个东西是去年他说 Bus 这个比赛前10名全是用这个东西。
最近3场的 FLW Top 10里边全部是这个。
对，全这个东西。
所以他们把它分掉，这个太厉害了。太夸张了。对，Club on Ontario tournament. Are they saying anything about this?
Nothing yet.
Nothing yet?
Nothing yet. There's nothing decided.
Like ice fishing.
As far as I'm concerned, if it's legal in the eyes of the MNR, it should be legal.
这个他现在加的是 swimming bait 的那个加的，他还有加 current bait 的，好多东西加，放很多东西的。那个
爆炸钩，中国的爆炸钩。
对，是3个。
So you can see, if you can see the one I have here, I have actual jig heads on here. Okay, you can rig it like that. You can rig it without jig heads. You can see those ones have no weights on them. You can rig them by themselves. Those have swammers, X-zone swammers. But when it comes to the water, it looks like a school of bait fish. It looks like a school of minnows coming through. And I'll tell you, it's not just for bass fishing. I'll tell you, this is going to be great for walleye. You can use a smaller one, and you can perch fish. I know on Simcoe this year, I'll be throwing one of those for perch. It's gonna. Honestly, it works for everything.
Do they have a smaller size?
Yeah, this is a 7-inch. This is a 7-inch arm, and there's the ones I'm passing around are actually 5-inch arms. They're shorter. These are longer.
Once I used this kind of lure in Simcoe for perch fishing, ice fishing.
Yeah.
There's 3
Spreader.
Yeah. Same principle here.
Same principle. Yeah. In fact, a friend of mine bought one of these. In fact, this very one at the Spring Fishing and Boat Show. And when he went home, his brother saw it and said, "Wow, that's cool. Give me that." And he took it from him. And then the next day he went out and was lake trout fishing on Simcoe through the ice. Yeah, he caught 2 lake trout on it.
On one hook, on one.
No. He caught 2 lake trout total, but he caught it on this with 4 swim baits on it. So yeah, it can be used in a number of different places. Yeah, that's why it's it's new, but it's not really new. Okay. In the saltwater side of things, they've used this type of rig for fishing for stripers. They call it an umbrella rig. Okay, all an Alabama rig is a castable umbrella rig, an umbrella rig that you can throw out there and cast. Okay. Now, if you choose to try this year, and if you rig it up like I got it rigged up here, make sure you use the proper equipment.
Right.
Okay? Because the way it's rigged here, that's over 2.5 ounces. It's not something you want to throw on your medium light rod with 6-pound monofilament. Okay, I have 65-pound braid here. That's the minimum I'll use. 65 pounds to 80-pound braid is what you want to use. This is a 710 heavy action rod, and even in a heavy action, you can see it's still. But this is a long rod, and you have to use the proper equipment, or you'll just end up leaving it in the bottom of the lake.
这个